Hey, what's going on, friends? My podcast every day is broken up into two parts on the free platform. The first part, Act 1, is right now. When it's all done, go right on over to Act 2 to get the second half of the podcast. Thank you so much for checking out my show. Hello, friends. Welcome in to the Eric Zane Show podcast, a daily show where I discuss news, nonsense, and my personal adventures. From right here in the Impact Power Sports studio, Impact Power Sports online at impactpowersportsmi.com. Impact. So, yeah, they've got plenty of things that you can shop for. The golf carts are the big thing. People just love the golf carts. People are like driving to work in golf carts now. Whether it's an EZGO or a Yamaha, they have the best in stock now. Shop online at impactpowersportsmi.com. You can also get an ATV, UTV, stuff for the kids. A lot of kids like go-karts, so those little ATVs, those little four-wheelers, side-by-sides, they've got it all. Thanks to Nick, the electrician. He's been buying all of his equipment from my friends at Impact Power Sports. Thank you, Nick. David says this weather is nonsense. This weather's amazing. This is fan-fucking-tastic. Every day we're getting another fucking foot of snow. Especially over here in my beautiful neck of the woods, Ottawa County, which is, butted up to Lake Michigan. So we get that lake effect snow. It's outstanding. Oh, my God. So cool. Here we go. So I got to dig out again. Today I was, I had to yesterday I'm shoveling, and I actually wanted to shovel because I could use the exercise, and it was light and fluffy, and I went a little too deep, and the fucking thing broke. My God. Patrick talks about the snow in the South. Yeah, there was he wrote, God is pleased with Trump and brought snow from the Gulf of America. Yeah, I don't know about the first part. Maybe that is true. But there definitely is snow from the Gulf of America. Florida got hit. All those states, they got fucking, not just a dusting, like a half a fucking foot. That is out of control. You have to go back. Well, the records that were shattered were records that were set in the late 1800s. And they doubled the previous record. It was outstanding. I mean, as long as nobody gets hurt, And with the amount of snow that rolled in, I mean, those communities, they don't have any equipment to remove snow, having lived in Tennessee, which, occasionally you do get some snow, but they're just not set up for it. And even the smallest amount is ridiculous. You'll have schools closed for a week for 2 inches of snow. It's remarkable. A little bit different here with an army of snow removal equipment in and around this area, one of the snowiest places on the planet, actually. Buffalo's got us beat, without a doubt. But where I live, especially this lake effect snow, is just kicking everybody's ass. Okay, I want to get right to this. I want to re-promote tonight's Who Are These Free Beers, because when I played this clip yesterday, and I'm just going to play the clip again for those who didn't see it in hopes that they'll be like, oh, God, I have got to hear this. Dick's out for Yoda Whirl, who signed up on Patreon for the free trial. So did a fella by the name of Patrick. Another Patrick. Thank you so much. I want you to sign up for 7 days free. So, look, I'm giving you some advice. If you like me busting the balls, Ben Glaze and myself busting balls on Free Beer and Hot Wings for doing horrible radio, and if you're kind of in the same boat where you're like, God, I used to love this show, but it really is kind of dull right now, we take the lemons and make lemonades out of that show. We highlight the buffoonery that is that show, where they just have given up completely. It's horrible. And honestly, if I didn't have anything to make fun of, like if they were great, I mean, it wasn't until I realized that this show is shit and everybody is starting to turn on them. That's when I created Who Are These Free Beers? And that show, episode number 41, happens tonight. And you can get it live as it happens with a free 7 days to Patreon. There is no catch here. Listen to this. You go to patreon.com/Eric Zane, sign up for 7 days free. You have to put in a payment form, but the second you're done, like right then, cancel it. And then you still get the 7 days. Okay? You're like, why would you tell them to cancel it? That's because I know they're going to love it. And when the 7 days is up, their trial, because that's what it should be, I don't want them to be inadvertently charged, is what I'm getting at, too. And I'm so confident in what we've created that you can just go back into your profile on your account, your Patreon account, and just enable the card when you want to actually continue on with the content after the 7 days. And then I'll charge you either $5 a month or $10 a month. 5 is all audio. 10 is audio and the video and the live streams and the participation in the Ben and Eric Zoom live audience feed. That's all for you. And as an added thing, if you want to buy it all for like 1 year, I'll take 10% off that cost. So what was $60 a month audio? If you're doing month to month, it's $54. $120 a year for audio video live streams is now $108. I'm going to really drill down tonight with Ben Glaze on Who Are These Free Beers. This aggressiveness of Free Beer towards hot wings, that they'll be having a discussion about whatever topic, and out of the blue, he attacks him. For the record, I have no problem personally with hot wings. I do have a problem personally with Free Beer. But hot wings sucks professionally. But in this case, he does not. They're having a discussion about why he never, he's a homebody. He doesn't really go out and do much, and he's explaining his point of view on it. Freebeer asks him a question, and I think Freebeer was baiting him. And then when Hot Wings starts to give his answer, this aggressive bull in a china shop attack by Freebeer interrupts him and unloads what sounds like 20 years of frustration onto our boy Hot Wings. I know a lot of you heard this yesterday, but it's worth hearing again. And I have plenty more from this exchange to play for you when we do Who Are These Free Beers tonight at 6 p.m. Eastern on Patreon.
I don't think it would be either. And I think you'd be really funny even if you didn't care for it. It wouldn't be, I hate this. It would be, no. I tried this and I'm never doing it again in a really funny way.
I very rarely do something that I end up not enjoying in some way. Mm-hmm. It's just, I don't always want to do it. You know what I mean? Like, it's not that I will have a bad time. It's just like sometimes I just don't feel like it.
Do you think if you made yourself start doing it, you would enjoy things more?
Okay, now that's the setup. Do you think if you did things more, you would enjoy it more, or forced yourself, whatever
I mean, I do. Usually if people ask me to do something, unless I legitimately cannot do it, I will say yes. I just don't have nearly the...
That is so hurtful for the last 20 years when I have asked you to do things before I gave up and stopped trying. All the times you'd go, yeah, let me get back to you. And then I'd ask you and go, oh, I forgot. Never mind.
It still is so... We've heard that 5 times, and it's still so fucking awkward. Tophus pointed out yesterday, yeah, that's some real heat. That he has just been hanging on to that. And I made the point yesterday. Greg is extremely difficult to like. All right? Now, if you don't work with Greg, I can see someone becoming friends with him. I think. I mean, maybe not. Maybe he has no fucking friends. But in my experience and in Hot Wings' experience, because him and I would have conversations like, what the fuck is that guy's problem? It makes absolute sense that Hot Wings would never want to reach out to Greg because he's a cock. Plain and simple. This ugly, passive-aggressive mentality that has been just driving this animal for decades. And you heard it right there. Set him up, reel him in. Hot Wings gives an honest answer, and then Greg interrupts and lets him have it.
We'll have a bad time. It's just like sometimes I just don't feel like it.
Do you think if you made yourself start doing it, you would enjoy things more?
I mean, I do. Usually if people ask me to do something, unless I legitimately cannot do it, I will say yes. I just don't have nearly the...
That is so hurtful for the last 20 years when I have asked you to do things before I gave up and stopped trying. All the times you'd go, yeah, let me get back to you. And then I'd ask you and go, oh, I forgot. Never mind.
Oh, my God. That is so great. Greg constantly, he's always looking to blame others. It's never just him. I wish Hot Wings would have said right there, have you ever thought that you're just impossible? Has that ever crossed your mind? Have you ever thought that maybe I just don't like you that much? I mean, I'm a business partner, but at some point you should have probably have realized that in the last, 20 years and moved on. You can't be friends with everyone. And especially you can't be friends if you're an asshole. Oh my God. This radio guy reached out to me the other day, and I've seen his name around. And as Tyler writes, I wish Hot Wings had said something more unknowingly hurtful, like, well, if I like the person asking me to do something, I'll say yes. But if I don't like that person, I'll say I'll get back to you and ignore them. Well, Tyler, put a pin in what you just wrote and what I just read and said out loud. Put a pin in that because just wait until you hear the direction this goes on tonight's Ben and Eric Patreon podcast. It's not as what you said there is innocent. But you'd be surprised at how close you are with that. And you had no idea. But, oh, fuck. Is that not enough to make you go, God damn it, I got to hear this shit? And think about it. This happened on the radio. I happened to hear it when reviewing for this show. And I'm like, well, we got to have a big discussion about this nonsense. So, yeah, you're going to fucking flip when you hear this. So, again, if you're within the sound of my voice right now, I don't give a shit if you hate me, you like me, you're poor, you're rich. I'm giving it to you for free. You must hear this tonight. Go to patreon.com/Eric Zane, patreon.com/Eric Zane, 7 days free. Radio Voice Linda would be so proud of my promotion of this. She would. She is. I don't know if she's here right now. I think she is. Her multi-talented sister is here. I think Linda's here. Are you here, Linda? I don't know. All right. Either way. So this guy who I guess did work in radio, I thought he is on a radio station. He heard that, and he asked me a couple of questions. And he had been bopping around on Facebook, and I was like, what? And he sent me an email. He says, hey, do you work at a radio station? And when I saw that, his name's Joe Knight. And I wrote, yeah, actually, I do mornings on a northern Michigan station and afternoons in Grand Rapids. Why are you hiring? And he says, no. And then we had a little bit more back and forth, and this is someone new to meet online or on email, so that I appreciated that. And then he said, yeah, I've just been reaching out to people that I used to work with in the past. And I went, wait a minute. Who is this? And then it occurred to me, like the puzzle pieces fit. He's got a very common name, Joe Knight. I don't know if that's his real name. And so I was like, oh, fuck. Yeah, Joe. All right. So I responded to him, and I go, hey, buddy, how are you? And I guess because he worked at Town Square with me. I remember his face. I couldn't tell you what radio station he was on. I couldn't tell you any of the interactions. You know me, and I mean, my brain is fuzzy. We've talked about this many times, but I barely remembered, but then I did, and I go, oh, all right, hey, yeah, how are you? And so he was giving me the lowdown of the dirty details of how he got let go of the radio station. And so we had a discussion about that. And one of the things that came up was he gave me like a he had gotten like one of those things called an air check. And that's when they the program director will critique you. And typically these suck. They're awful. It comes to mind, and this will be great for those of you who like radio war stories. I've heard that a lot over the years that I've done this, that you love these type of pulling back the curtain moments. And so in particular, like Ben Glaze and myself used to get air checks. Now, I could see air checking someone who's new to the biz and relatively green. And I think at the time, Joe Knight was a little bit green, so I could understand why he would get an air check. And I think they work best for people who are like talking short little amounts of time while playing a lot of music and is new in the business. But Ben and I mean, I'm doing the morning show on WBBL, and we had this program director who he did not want an air check at all. He didn't give a shit. He goes, I'm not going to air check you. I mean, come on now. Because it's an insult. And it's a morning show. It's a talk show, God damn it. How in the fuck are you going to air check a talk show? You're not like, hey, 30 seconds of, yeah. So anyway, join us at the Shoe Hut. We'll be down there from 3 to 5. Get your new shoes and get a free T-shirt. Jingle out. So Ben and I are doing like these 20-minute bits on the air. And she goes, it was redheaded bitch lips. Lori fucking Bennett. And, she's like, all right, it's air check time. And so she goes in her office, puts on 99 pounds of makeup. And she looked like an evil fucking clown. She had so much fucking makeup on. There's really bad dye job on her hair. And these huge high heels. What are those shoes? Jimmy Choo? And so her clomping around on the hard floor of the radio station would give people PTSD, because you could hear her coming the second she got up from her desk. Clomp, clomp, clomp. Just pecking away at the floor. And one of those chicks who had like a huge ass, but super teeny tiny skinny pins. And so kind of like that hunka cheese guy, time for timer vibe. And so She says, it's time for your air check. So we sit down with this crazy bitch, and I sit there with this look on my face, and Ben's just kind of like, Ben is one of these guys, because he's under 40, who has to kind of like touch himself and cover up because he's awkward and uncomfortable. So his hand's over his face like this, and I'm sitting there just kind of looking in. And we have to listen to the whole fucking bit. And who knows what the fuck it was about. Once a week. And it wasn't like anything she heard in real time. Okay, because if you're listening to the show in real time and you think, oh, God, we got to talk about this, that's one thing. But she would just go and just click on any segment and just listen to it. No rhyme or reason whatsoever. It was a huge waste of time because in that bit where, Ben's playing nasty drops. Oh, she's a squirter. She's squirting. And, what do you mean, anal? And shit like that. And when we play those fucking things, I don't want to see anybody's reaction to that shit. The only person I want to see reacting to it will be an audience member, going wow or laughing or something like that. I don't want to be in front of this bitch boss, hearing she's a squirter, she's squirting. So it's awkward as fuck, and she just sits there. And she doesn't say a fucking word. And she goes, okay, all right. That's the end of the air check. And then that's it. We were free to go. She wouldn't say anything. It was just torture is what it was. It was painful, fucking awkward torture. I still have fucking flashbacks. It's like one of those terrible radio dreams I have. God damn. That dumb bitch is running a radio station somewhere in South Bend, Indiana now. I harassed her a little bit on Facebook. I actually, when I was trying to get the morning job at LAV, I sent her an email saying, hey, sorry, I said you look like Steven Tyler. She did not respond, so fuck that bitch. She got fired shortly after the new, they got a new general manager and realized she was fucked up and fired her ass. So that's that. But anyway, back to this Joe Knight dude. So, he gives me the dirty details about his firing. Russ was involved. Hey, we're going to have to let you go. But he also sent me, they had built like a paper trail. Because this is how you are in corporate radio. They have to like establish like a history. And then if they write you up, they add that to your file. Mine was this thick and obviously fired. You made fun of Joel's pants. You played Aha, You Have AIDS drops while the AIDS awareness commercial is playing. You're an asshole. You're free to go. Bye-bye. So Joe sent me this document that I'm going to share with you of him being written up. So the program director gave him an air check, and I guess he did something on the air and he got written. I don't understand why this poor guy was written up, but I'm going to read it to you. On Wednesday afternoon, Joe, you did a break talking about stolen items. Later, I asked that you listen to that segment on this audio and tell me what you thought should have been done differently. You listened and thought maybe it was a little too long. While that was technically true, I was hoping you'd have a deeper critique. When I played the audio with both of us listening, you offered that maybe there was too much information and detail, which was closer to what I was looking for. The segment started strong, but fell apart as you began reading. You used words no listener would ever use, gave details irrelevant to our audience and the story, and sounded totally unprepared, unrelatable, and amateur. No real person calls a boat a yacht, a boat or yacht, a vessel. No listener cares about names or ages of thieves, nor was it important to the story. No listener cares the yacht was 20 miles south of the Golden Gate Bridge in some California city, nor was it important to the story. Now, I will say that whoever wrote that is correct. If you're doing a story, you really don't want to read it. Occasionally, you'll find me reading here in this forum. But when I do read there, I'm also going to establish a commentary based on what I read. I don't ever just want to go and read directly and go, wow, isn't that something? On to the next thing. So whoever wrote this technically is correct. So I am critiquing the guy who's critiquing Joe. The problem is all of this written out. This would have been much easier if the guy would have just said, yeah, instead of like bashing him, said, yeah, from now on, read it, know the story, maybe rehearse it as to what you're going to say. Don't read anything to the audience members and tell a story. And maybe have a fucking joke in there if you're lucky, if you're capable of that. But this is bullshit. This is why radio sucks cock. Gone are the days when you just say, hey, do what I just said to do. Or hell, I don't give a shit if it's, hey, shut the fuck up. Quit reading directly from the thing, asshole. You're boring everybody. Be funny. Crack a joke. Say it in your own words. So Yoda World says this could have been keep it concise. How fitting is it that the boss can't be concise when he's telling the guy to be concise? What the fuck? Now I actually do know who wrote this. I don't want to say his name because I actually like the guy, but my guy Joe does not like this guy. So to that guy, Joe says, fuck you to whoever wrote that. I'm curious with Joe Knight if he got fired after I did or before I did. If he was fired after I did, I need to know what it was like in those hallways after I got fired. And then he wrote to me, he goes, how in the world were you fired again? I've seen and heard rumors, but I'd never really heard. And I'm like, how the fuck do you not know that? And I go, well, I mean, and so I told him what we all know, made fun of Deltaplex guy's pants. And that was it, And I wrote, what did you hear? I mean, did they say that I fucked a kid or something like that? Patrick says, so he was fired because during self-reflection, he didn't realize he should have said boat instead of vessel. Right. And I think there was a number of other things that went on, but it seems pretty complex the way he wrote it, and I don't want to get into it because it's confusing even to me, and I used to work there. Was he written up by the same guy who fired you? No. At least I don't think so. The guy who fired me was Russ. And the guy who wrote what I just read to you was in the room when I got fired. And I'll never forget the look on his face because I could tell, and he confirmed this later on, that he wasn't on board with the firing. But when I walked in to get actually fired, that guy that I'm not going to mention, he was sitting there and he had this look on his face like, holy shit, this is going down. And then I knew, I was like, oh, fuck, I'm cooked. This is all over. And he did not speak. He just sat there looking sick. Chris says, Russ is the guy who doesn't run but took over the Riverbank run. Yes. Hey, Eric. Yeah, we're going to have to let you go. I think one of the biggest regrets of my life is actually not holding a grudge against that guy for a period of time. Because I'm weird like that. I think in my effort to start the show on BBL, I wanted to show everybody that, hey, I'm the bigger man. And Russ actually came into the radio station and I interviewed him. And I wish I'd never done that. I wish I would have told that guy he's a fucking asshole when they said, hey, will you interview Russ to talk about the Riverbank run? I should have brought him on and then fucking ripped into him. But I didn't have that big of balls. So I kind of wish I'd never been such a pussy, but in hindsight, it doesn't matter. Fuck that guy. Chris says, yeah, that was a bummer when you had him on BBL. All right. I've got plenty more coming up. And by the way, this is what it looked like on that little air check printout from my pal Joe Knight. Patrick says, I love that Zane regrets that. Yeah, I regret burying a hatchet. I wish that hatchet was still out so I could bash him over the head with it. Fuck that guy. Okay. God, I got to go pee already. This is going to be another 2-pee day. And if I keep drinking water like I have been, which I should, this is going to become a regular thing. Sorry. I'll be right back. Don't move, I swear. All right, I'm back. Thank you. Chris asks, what was the worst air check that you and Ben had? The one that we were in. Nothing really comes to mind at all. There is one story, though. I mentioned the she's a squirter, she's squirting drop. We benefited, Ben and I, because a lot of people just didn't listen. Like in the, not so much, well, definitely the audience, but people that worked at the radio station didn't listen. One person in particular is the general manager. His name was Jeff Cartwright. But on one particular day, he did listen. And I remember I had to run down to my car to get something out of it. And I go into the lobby, and as I'm pushing the button to call the elevator, it opens. And there's Cartwright. And he looks like this. Like he just saw a ghost. His face is red. And I go, hey, boss. He goes, hey. I go, what's up? He goes, and he just kind of walked away. Now, what I don't know is he is going to see if Lori Bennett is there at the radio station. She wasn't in yet, but he had he heard something that he couldn't believe his fucking ears. And I was talking about Diana or something like that, and Ben hit the drop that said, she's a squirter. She's squirting. And he heard that. And that's the first time he'd ever heard anything like that. And he couldn't fucking believe that happened on the radio. But it had been happening for literally a year. And so he's like fucking steam's coming out of his ears. But I don't know. I go, hey, boss. Oh, okay. See you later. I go down to my car. And then I put the puzzle pieces together when at the end of the show, I hear clomp, 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 clomp. I need to see you, boys. Hey, boys. Could I see you in the office? I'm going to talk to you about something. We go in there. So, you played a drop that talked about squirting. Or I think she actually played the clip or some shit. So we're sitting there, it's a squirter. We're like, oh, fucking shit. It's happening again. Yeah, boys. There could be no more poo-poo, pee-pee, caca. No more dirty jokes. No more dirty drops anymore. And Ben could only play like, ooga sound effects and honk honk and he couldn't play any of the good ones anymore. So, like, literally the drop menu went from like 1,000 awesome drops to like 4 fucked up ones. He had Buzzer, Bell, Donkey Bray, and Coyote. That's it. And so all the drops were then wiped out. So, we slowly but surely got neutered over time because of that shit. And then all these stories are popping into my head now. That's kind of how it goes. We started doing the Sudden Death podcast. And I think I said, like, damn, or something like that. Because she said, no swearing, boys. No swearing on that podcast. That it goes against company protocol. No swearing. So then, I don't know, I said shit or fuck or something like that. And I was at a Grand Rapids, then known as the Drive basketball game. And this crazy bitch calls me, we've got to have a talk. This does not look good for you. What? What the fuck are you talking about? You said a bad word. You swore on that podcast of yours. What the fuck? I was in so much deep shit. That was when they were starting to establish the fucking file on me. And then Ben went fucking bonkers when I sent him home, and I got in so much trouble. Thanks, Ben, you fuckface. I'm totally kidding. I sound like free beer. My God. Chris writes just that. We can say whatever the fuck we want. One day later, just kidding. All right. I think all of these memory lane moments, they happen on this show like spur of the moment. You can't ever, very rarely do I ever predict that we're going to be going down memory lane. But I kind of like memory lane. And I hope you enjoy the stories that I tell. I've gotten lots of positive feedback over the years when I do these. So. Thank you to a slew of amazing sponsors that make this podcast a reality. Tag Accounting, online at tagcpa.net. Tag is going to do your taxes for you. That would be Troy Ginzer. And it doesn't matter where you are in the U.S., you're going to reach out to him at 616-301-9516. The absolute best. And he's going to get your personal return done. And the next thing you know, the money's going to show up in your bank account, and you're good to go. Absolutely outstanding. The way this works is if you're not in the area, you just upload all your documentation to the online portal. You're given a heads up as to what day and time your taxes are going to be done. You keep your phone handy in case Troy has a question while he's doing your return. And that's it. Forget this silly turbo promo software, whatever the fuck it is. Don't do it. You're wasting your time. You're spinning your wheels. Just have someone do it for you who is a professional. Otherwise, you're leaving money on the table, and you might even get yourself in trouble. Chris says if you're down a man for basketball, he's Rain Man from behind the line, too. That little fucker can shoot. Parma Western High School, Troy Ginzer. I wonder if there's like a picture of him. High School, Troy Ginzer. Nah, I don't see anything. He was a finalist for Mr. Basketball in the state of Michigan. And I think he got beat out by Matt Steginga or Mike Peplowski. I'm not sure. And he's little. I'm taller than him. He's the guy who was on the court when fuckface Freebeer used to have a temper tantrum and kick the basketball like a goddamn child. Thank you also to Frank Fuss, My Policy Shop Insurance. Frank will take care of you and the insurance when it comes to health care. If you are self-employed like me, maybe you're between jobs, or perhaps your employer does not offer health care, you still need a policy. Because if something goes wrong, you want to make sure that you're taken care of. Frank can get you into that policy and give you the details about how it's not nearly as expensive as you think. Not everybody is aware that the way our healthcare system is set up, the government gives you a tax credit on your insurance policy. So the monthly premium that you would pay, and I mean, for a family policy, it might be as high as like $2,000. It's going to cost a fraction of that. So you're paying $400 out of pocket each month, but you still get this amazing healthcare plan. And the government is giving you a tax credit. It's kind of like an advance on your tax return. So you're basically paying for it in advance with your tax return. Anyway, Frank takes care of all that for you, and he does it for free. Go to buyinsurancehere.com. That's just a simple form that you fill out your information, and then Frank will get a hold of you from there. That's it. His services are free. As I said, he can also help you with life insurance, a Medicare policy, or your Social Security planning. Starman314 says, the hot Zester story always makes me howl with laughter. God, I was going to talk about something else. It was radio related. What was it? What did I say just before I did those ads? I was talking about, God damn it, because I talked about the air check and getting busted. Memory lane stuff. Yeah, it's not popping. All right. Doesn't matter. I want to get into this Bill Burr and Billy Corgan thing. Oh, woof. If you remember on Howie Mandel's podcast, he brought Billy Corgan on. Billy Corgan said, yeah, I think Bill Burr might be my brother. We have the same father. What do you mean? Well, I found out that my dad was kind of a whore, and I was tipped off by a family member that that my dad had an extramarital affair and fucking that created Bill Burr. I think Bill Burr and Billy, I think he's my brother. And Howie Mandel's like, what the fuck? Holy shit. And that's it. We didn't hear anything. Bill Burr didn't say anything, and we thought the story was gone. Well, Burr is now on Mandel's show the other day. Now, this is fucked up because Mandel invites Corgan in, but he tells Corgan that Bill Burr is in on it, and he is well aware, and he's looking forward to meeting you, and that that he's cool with it. That's not true. Fuck. And it turns out that Bill is upset. And I think he realized that it was making for a great moment, though, so he does go with it. But this is fucked. Oh, my God. You can tell by just the look on Freckles' face right there that he's like, oh, no. All right, let's get into it.
And look who's here.
Oh, hey, what's up?
Sit down.
You're an asshole.
Billy Corgan.
Okay.
And look who's here.
Oh, hey, what's up?
Sit down.
You're an asshole.
Billy.
Okay, now you may think that he could just be kidding there, but he's not.
And look who's here.
Oh, hey, what's up?
Sit down.
You're an asshole.
Billy Corgan. Billy Corgan. Yeah. I'm an asshole?
Yeah,
I thought this would be great to bring a family together.
Well, he didn't tell you. He told me you were totally cool with me coming.
That's what he does. That's what he does.
I thought it would be
so
a
then,
good
like,
surprise.
can this be like edited out, or no?
I can go. I mean, you told me Bill was.
All right, fuck it. No, I'll do it. Like, did you ever?
Who feels bad for Billy Corgan here? That is awkward as shit. That is ugly fucking. This is dirty, dirty shit. I feel terrible for Corgan here, and Bill. But Bill's responding aggressively, and that's okay.
I think the fact that I never told that story, that maybe you shouldn't. Did you ever? You know how many fucking like emails?
Okay, he's talking. Bill Burr there is talking to Billy Corgan, and says, "You think that I never told that story? Maybe you shouldn't."
The fact that I never told that story, that maybe you shouldn't. Did you ever? You know how many fucking like emails and crap that I got? Like I sort of like went away from that.
So let me just fill in. Let me just fill in.
Do we talk on a regular basis?
We've never met.
So Billy Corgan was nice enough on my podcast to talk about the fact that he told a story that he had never told before, that his father traveled.
My stepmother said to me,
Here's the part.
"Do you know who Bill Burr is? Bill Burr might be one of the children that your father sired in his days on being a traveling musician."
If you do the math,
He was a piece of shit.
with
And he had two kids this close together, and he named them the same fucking name.
Good
He thinks
point.
it's different because he's Billy and I'm Bill. Like, that's how he told the difference.
Well, I was Bill
By the way, that never occurred to me.
when I was young. But you're right. I mean, with all respect.
I just thought.
All right,
I
well,
don't-
whatever. It's
I just
weird.
thought-
It's not that I don't like him. It reminds me of all of that shit. So, it's like
It just seems more of the same from what I've been hearing.
All right, whatever. I mean, I like your music.
Appreciate that.
Okay, great.
Would you? Oh, you know what would be cool if you let your brother play drums.
Well, the fact that he said he can't sing, I think that sort of disproves that we're related.
Come on.
Because I'm not funny, right? You know what I mean? So it goes both ways.
So Billy's being serious. They are brothers.
Listen, you've done well for yourself. I'm happy for you. But I just would prefer if you just kind of didn't
Fuck
go
off.
around. No, not telling these fucking stories. Like, why did you feel the need to do that?
Okay, can I give you the setup on all this? Because it's his fault.
You can do whatever you want because you kind of already did that.
Okay, I'm trying to be respectful.
Now
'Cause-
you are.
Okay, no, wait. He told me you were cool
You're a
with me.
Cubs fan? That fucking tracks.
Theo Epstein.
Fucking Wrigleyville. Bunch of cunts. Southside's where it's at. What's up?
Do you want me to tell the story?
Yes.
Okay. So, he owns about 80 buildings in this area. I don't know if you know how rich he is. But anyway, so I was working in another building, and I came out the building, and the first thing he said to me was, "Here comes Bill Burr." And I said, "Do you know that story somehow?" He said, "What story?" So I told him privately that story. He said, "Oh, you got to say this on the air."
Yeah, but he always does that. Because that's the thing. He's bringing in here not because he's trying to heal the bullshit that we went through growing up. He's getting here just for the fucking ratings. I mean, the guy
No.
literally accepted a fucking award in the middle of a podcast. I'm supposed to be promoting my special, and he's over here like...
You can do it. March 14th on Hulu.
Like, that's going to help now?
I still love you, though. Even though you did
But
this.
it's not about
Okay,
me.
so now what
Love
was supposed
your
to happen? Are we going to go play catch? We're both in our 50s.
My arm is still good. I got to go. I got to say.
Do you like wrestling?
Like what kind of wrestling? the real shit or like the WWE? The WWE, I love that.
Okay, I own the NWA, which is the oldest wrestling organization in the world.
Okay. So Billy owns NWA. Bill likes WWE. Curious point Patrick makes. I'm wondering if this is a work. Dana White came on this same podcast and acted weird as well. Andromeda 673 writes, I think Howie has a weird podcast because in general Howie is weird. He's just odd. He doesn't ask a lot of questions. He just kind of sits here and lets the talking take place. All right, whatever. Burr is starting to become unhinged, not gonna lie. Patrick says you shouldn't treat the president of NWA Wrestling like that. Dusty Rhodes once held the title. Nick says Burr has turned into such an unfunny dick. All right, I'm not sure. Let's continue.
All right, that's I respect that.
He won't come. He won't come to a show, but at least you would.
Would you go to one of his events?
To what? An NWA
event? Yes.
It's wrestling.
Oh, wrestling. Yeah. You know,
He's
I
busy.
don't know.
He's busy. He's busier than God. This guy.
No.
I can't even believe you got him in here. To set this up.
Do you want to?
I mean, you set us both up.
I know. Does YouTube give you fucking awards for
Setups.
healing fathers who secretly have two families?
This is some Dr. Phil shit you got going on here.
Yeah, thank you.
I think that you guys should take a moment.
I think we're on the same page, thinking that you're kind of a dick right now.
I think you're a dick too.
What did you have to do with this?
Yeah,
Why
you didn't
would
know he was going to do this, right? Whatever. But I don't have any, at some point we will hang out. I don't think on a podcast.
Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't have thought about this being a work till Patrick said it, so I guess it's possible. But if it's not, Mandel, this is great. This is fucking awesome for showbiz. It is a little tricky. You got to have some big balls in order to do it. It's not like these two don't have anything going for them. They could probably fuck them up. I kind of think that this is actually real.
Hang out. I don't think on a podcast to try to fucking.
This is where it starts.
Oh, you
Sonny,
smoke
play
too, huh?
something.
No, it's just I don't want to talk about it because he's a germaphobe. But
Wait, you're sick?
I've gotten over being sick. Stop. This is just the remnants of a lifetime of screaming.
Yeah, that's what we have in common.
I thought this would go someplace. I thought this would go like.
I mean, if you'd see the barrage of texts I got this morning, you got to come in. Bill will love it. He's cool with it, and the whole thing.
All right, so then I'm not upset with you then, because I thought that this was like your idea.
No,
All right.
he totally set me up.
I'm sorry. I just thought it was more important to bring family
You walk
together.
through the door. How's your wife? My wife's pregnant. How's your wife?
Yeah, he's having
How
a
the
baby.
kids?
Yeah. You have your family's
some
growing.
free
Bill.
underwear,
She's
you know.
she's late.
That's funny.
Third semester.
That's fun.
Trimester.
Third semester.
He doesn't even give a shit. This is the thing that throughout my career, the amount of people that have done this to me, and then you know what's funny? This is gonna probably maybe make us better or maybe fuck us up, but I can guarantee you about 20 minutes after we walk out of here, he's not gonna remember.
Remember what? Trimester.
He's gonna be standing there gazing with his arms behind his back, looking at his YouTube plaque.
His kingdom.
All right, what do you think? Do you think that was a work? As it went on, at first I was like, I think it's fake. I think this is real. I think it's fake. So I've gone back and forth in literally second by second. Nick says, the longer this goes, I think it's a work. Yeah, I am 50-50. Actually, but that is true. I started to think it more as it went on. Patrick says, I think it's a work, still a good bit. And I think the wrestling thing can't be ignored. They both, one guy is a fan, the other guy is in the industry where they're supposed to blur the lines. So somewhere it's that whole fact, fiction, reality, not reality, shoot match, not shoot match, acting, real, who knows? But I wouldn't have thought of that. I wouldn't have thought of that had Patrick not said it. I think most people secretly want it to be real because cringe moments are entertaining. That's entertaining shit. Ben Glaze says, I don't know. I feel like Burr was seriously pissed at the beginning. Don't forget, though, he's a pretty good actor. And if someone says, Bill, you're pissed, he knows what to do. God, I don't know. I want it to be Yeah, I'm going to put my foot down and decide fully that was fake. That's what I think. After watching it and debating it with you through the chat, I think I agree with that this is a fake bit. Chris says Burr and Zane would be a good interview. We interviewed Bill, I remember, more than once. We had our beloved agent who died. His anniversary is coming up. I think it's the 27th, right? Old Mikey died. Yeah. Ring, ring. Hello. Hey, it's me. Hey, Mike. I got somebody you got to talk to. Who is it? Bill Burr. Yeah? Who is he? He's a comic. He's great. He's gonna be big. Why should we interview him? Because I'm telling you to. He's awesome. He's so funny. You're gonna love this guy. And we're like, are you serious? Yeah, he's gonna be big. So as a fucking favor, and he kept on because we go, all right, yeah, hey, we'll think about it, yeah, and then we hang up on him. We forget about it. 2 days later, hey, when can we book Bill Burr? He's great. You're going to love Bill Burr. Finally, we commit to it. And we fucking hate him. All right, hey, it's Bill Burr. And he's doing his fucking aggressive freckles bullshit. And, that's funny. But at the time, we didn't know it was supposed to be funny. We didn't know that this was actually very good. We're like, yeah, fuck this guy. This is how hard it is to be a comic. You can be fucking great, and unless you kind of get over, you're always going to be looked at as a fucking loser. So, all right, that comes and goes. Nobody cares. Nobody listens to the interview. It's horrible. 6 months later, hey, I got a guy. You got to interview Bill Burr again. He's big. He's got to be big. Like, fuck you. And I think we ended up doing like one more, and then he made it. Okay? And then we're like, oh, hey, we got to get Bill Burr on again. So we get him on, and we're like his best buddy. And I freaked him out because who's the guy that plays Huel on Breaking Bad? That is who plays? Lavelle Crawford. And I thought he was dead, Lavelle Crawford. And we're talking to him. I go, God, man, can't believe that about Huel. I can't believe he's dead. And there's a pause. And he goes, are you fucking serious? I go, isn't he dead? And he goes, oh, my God, Christ, no, Lavelle Crawford, no, he's not dead. You scared the shit out of me. Oh, Jesus. So I told Bill Burr that Lavelle Crawford was dead, but he's not dead. And he freaked out. Jeremy writes, and now the only comedian they talk to is the unfunny, fat, shirtless guy, Bert Kreischer. They used to. They don't talk to him anymore. Bert's moved on. That'd be great if they did. I mean, I like Bert. But that does happen when a comedian kind of is everywhere. It kind of loses its luster. By the way, I saw Chappelle, his monologue, or his comedy stand-up work on Saturday Night Live, thanks to people who sent that to me. And it was very, very, very funny. Outstanding. Okay. So I am also kind of glad that this is that we think that some of us, or that I'm just going to say this is a work. This was a complete bit of bullshit. There's no way that Howie Mandel would do that to them. But I guess I don't know. Are they brothers? Do you think that those two are actually brothers? All right, that is Act 1 of the podcast. Act 2 is available right after this one. Go check it out. What are you doing? Don't miss a second of it. Thank you so much.